Hey guys, welcome. This video we're going to be looking at how to make a good outline from your thesis. We'll be looking at 3 different examples, all focusing on a different aspect so that you can, in general, get a really good perspective of how to write a good outline, things to do, things not to do, and then we'll move on from there. This thesis statement, it's a really good thesis, and you can tell that the student is thinking in the right direction because he's already starting to knock out some unnecessary words. Inequality and discrimination will continue to exist in the government. Now, that is a great thesis. Let's move on to the outline. The outline is not supposed to be intro, body, and conclusion. Your introduction and your conclusion are just, it's understood that you'll write them. The introduction is focused on how you're going to organize the body of your essay. Okay, if we take the outline and we don't use the introductory, body, and paragraph and conclusion as our plan for the paper, what do we base our outline on? The outline is based on the thesis. If we look at the student's thesis, there's inequality and discrimination as the 2 points that he's going to be talking about. So we want to use our thesis to predict our outline, which means our 2 main points in this case would be inequality and discrimination. So let's fix this. Now, there's a few things you need to understand about outlines. Number 1 is that there has to be at least 2 main points. So this has 2 main points, but if the student had talked about inequality, discrimination, and freedom, then freedom could be a 3rd point. You can have as many points as you want, but remember, in a 500-word paper, you won't have very much room to talk about more than 2 or 3 points. Secondly, is each main point needs to have an A and a B. Both of them do. And lastly, all of your points need to be complete sentences. So don't just give me a topic like inequality, but say something about it. Inequality is something. And you should relate it to your thesis, which is talking about how they will both continue to exist in the government. One more point is that your subpoints, A and B, should always be related to what's going on in the main point. So you might use A and B as a chance to expound on examples that talk about inequality, but they should definitely be related to each of their own main points in the Roman numerals 1 and 2. Let's look at the next outline example. It's another good outline. If you notice, the thesis is already a good thesis. How does the society and the government in Anthem pertain to the different types of government in recent history or modern times? First thing I would just right away fix is the grammar of the sentence. Notice the outline follows the thesis. There's 2 points in the thesis. The first one is talking about the society in the book, and the second one is talking about society in our experience. And his outline breaks it up into those 2 sections. So the thesis is predicting the outline. Also notice how the A and the B both talk about the subject of their own point. So the first point, daily society in Anthem, and then it talks about it. In Anthem, the government owns and dictates everyday lives. And second point, in this collectivist society, there's no individual freedom. So A and B are 2 different points, and yet they both talk about the first main point. That's a great example of what it means to expound on the first point and what A and B can be in your outline. The only thing that I would change is that the 3rd tier point needs to either have a second 3rd tier down here, or it needs to be incorporated into the B. So if you can't think of a second 3rd tier point, then you shouldn't have any 3rd tier point. You shouldn't have one just by itself. So you need to move or take this idea and add it to the sentence in the B. And then also each A and B and the Roman numeral 1 and 2 need to only be 1 sentence. This is 2 sentences. So you should break that down into 1 single idea. And then if you have more to add here, well then make it a second point. Okay, so in summary, the pros and cons of this one. The outline is based on the thesis. Good job. The subpoints expound on the main point. The subpoints are complete sentences, but there's more than 1 sentence. We should fix that. And then also the topic is interesting, comparing our society to the book. That's a great idea for your essay. And then some cons. The main points are not complete sentences: daily, society, and anthem. Society and our reality that compare to the society in Anthem. Those need to be full sentences too. And then the sentences are missing some punctuation. And finally, that third tier needs to have a second third tier or be removed from the outline that you turn in. Well guys, how'd it go? I hope that it went well. I hope that watching this was a helpful tutorial on writing good essays for you, that it'll make your essays better and that it makes sense. I hope that it'll help you this summer to write better essays. And let me know if there's anything that worked or didn't work for you, or that I can do better, or that you felt was actually really helpful. So give me some feedback and we'll try to make these more helpful in the future.